Then village trustees should contact Tyler to communicate times they'd be available. In your Tyler emailed a 2-page memo from Lee Shiborski to help you prepare for some thoughts for the interviews. Mr. Shiborski completed interviews with staff on March 31st and earlier today, April 3rd. There's going to be a community meeting on April 20th. Mr. Shiborski of GovHR will be leading a community meeting on April 20th at 6 p.m. in the Village Center. This will give the public and stakeholders a chance to provide their input on qualities and characteristics they want in the next village manager. Village staff plan on communicating this event through several communication channels, including submitting a press release and working with the school district to send an announcement through their channels. All village board, committee, and commission members will receive an invite via email for this April 20th meeting. All information shared through the interviews and community meetings will be used to finalize, to help inform the finalizing of the candidate profile and throughout the recruitment and selection process. And the village board will be considering to finalize the candidate profile at our May 1st meeting. That's my report. Does anybody have a question? You have a report. Okay, other reports? Trustee Rose.
I just have two, I did get contacted this week by 2 residents who were concerned. They got an email, a letter from our inspector's office with a picture of their house and the truck parked on the curb. And I know it's a new program for us. We started it, stepped up.
Did you say the truck parked on the curb?
So in March of this year. And so I think that maybe people don't know about it yet or haven't been aware of it. They were more elderly, the residents that contacted me, they were scared. They wanted to know why there was inspection on the property without them knowing. And I just think they were confused. And I told them I would share that with the board members and maybe just look at the letter that we're sending and look at the information and see if there's any more awareness we can do.
Did you recommend that they contact the village?
Yes, of course.
And just for clarification for the notes, did you say inspection or assessors?
Inspection.
Inspection.
Inspectors. That was one of mine. And then the other one, trustee Hunt is not here, but she had asked for an update on Senex, whenever we heard anything, and we did get an email letting us know that our village manager and the bid director are working on with 3 potential tenants. So just wanted to let you know.
Any other reports from trustees?
Yes, at our Strategic Initiatives Committee meeting prior to this meeting, we did talk about our initiatives for this next year, and I'm very excited to report that what the committee agreed to undertake for this next year are 2 initiatives. One is everything surrounding shared services, to compile all the information on services that we currently share, whether they're functions or purchasing advantages, shared purchasing, as well as what work has been done in the past found to be not possible, and then to evaluate those and say, is it worth revisiting? And that way we don't have to either start from scratch or recreate the wheel. And then working with the committee and others, as well as staff and department managers, will make some way of kind of identifying where there might be areas to investigate further. And during that process, we'll be bringing it back, I anticipate back to the board for information and make sure that we're getting as complete a list as we can. And then some process to vet that and evaluate which are viable opportunities and then a plan for however each of them might need to be pursued. The second initiative for lack of a better term, was labeled as space planning. And by that I mean there are a lot of things going on kind of concurrently or just recently taken place. The police station is under the new police headquarters. The remodeling there has begun and going to be completed later this summer. And you'll all recall that there's some square footage that will remain unutilized, both immediately and likely in the long term in that building. At the same time, we recently, both the Elder Services Advisory Committee and the Library Board have completed some space utilization and facilities planning and have identified needs of their own in terms of either additional space, modified space, reformatted program space. And then when we also consider the health department, the historical society, and as we discussed in committee, it makes sense to bring that conversation together to figure out what are our needs, and including the school district to some extent, because when we talk about programming space, they're the largest land owner, or landlord, I should say, in the village space for community programming, and then get the community services department. So that conversation will start with some figuring out of a plan, a project plan, if you will, for this next year. But we've heard, I've had a couple of conversations with both the library board and the senior center director, and it makes sense to bring all those conversations together and incorporate staff and department managers. So the first step is to make a plan, and that'll take place over the next couple of months. It shouldn't be more than a year, of course.
I think it's what you're coming today, but when you're making your plan on sharing services, if we could start with some of the smaller ones and have like the least likely to happen, for instance,
It's
police.
the low hanging fruit.
Yeah, so that we can get some wins and move down the line.
Yeah, I think when we kind of look at it, we didn't talk about the steps in the project plan per se, but certainly when we think about where we are in the calendar in relation to FY18's budget cycle, there are some things that might lend themselves to pulling up earlier in the evaluation process. So, and I think that's one of the reasons we want to, we talked about the committee reporting back to this board as check steps. So it's not just the committee and staff, but the collective things.
I'd just like to add a comment on the shared service thing too. We're in the process of looking for a new village manager, and as we're going through the hiring process, asking questions of candidates, just trying to let the candidates know that that is one of the imperatives that we have as shared services too, because the role of the village manager is critical in
Absolutely.
coming up.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great message.
What's the timeline on Wilson Drive design?
The board approved the last meeting or the meeting before the request for proposals. Invitations went out. There were a number, I think there were five or six respondents. A group that included representatives of the Public Works Committee, the Strategic Initiatives Committee, our managers from planning at Public Works, and a representative from the steering committee evaluated those proposals. There's 3 engineering firms that have been invited for interviews. And those interviews will take place Friday. And hopefully, in those interviews, it's not a committee, that's not something that's happening through the Strategic Initiatives Committee nor the Public Works Committee. We should just have involvement. Hopefully soon thereafter there would be a discussion and a decision that will then come back to this board.
The decision would be a recommendation.
A recommendation for 2 things. It's the selection and contract and also the scope of work. Because what was requested was a request for qualifications. So they responded in general terms, here's how we do things. And one of the interview questions, I think, is kind of getting to more about what do you think about these steps in the process, about public engagement, about traffic engineering. And grant writing. Grant writing was included in the request for,
Yeah, okay. So I was
excuse me,
wondering,
request for quals.
so I know, so I'm just a little confused, we can talk offline on this, but there's a road project that we have to design. I know we've all talked about that, getting designed, but then there was these great ideas that came out of the steering committee and work groups on actually making the environment better, meaning making an entrance into our village, and then like making Wilson Drive a gateway. And so there's two kind of, not competing, but
No.
different things, and I'm just wondering, that was my question, was when do we start exploring, the grant opportunity before the design starts happening?
Well, it's concurrent, and
Okay.
actually, one of the questions, and would I take it by that question that Leanne didn't send out, but I'll ask her to send out the memo that she had prepared in advance of these interviews. We got together last week to select the 3 firms, and it was a unanimous selection of the 3 firms to interview. We talked about interview questions. One of the questions goes to that exact point. There are some things that were identified through the task force process that are neither part of the road project nor something that we at this point have budgeted. How will you incorporate that? How will you think about that and incorporate those future opportunities in your design process? And how would you approach finding funding? Yeah.
Any other reports from trustees?
Okay,
Just
so
looking at
I
your
received,
you guys fight it
I've
out.
got, I have 3 or 4 things. They should be 45 minutes. I mean, an hour. No,
There is an NCAA final tonight.
great. So I recently returned from New York, as I mentioned last meeting, for a national convening on sanctuary cities. And it was, I won't go into in-depth here, I will probably get a more informed report. I'm working with a couple of, residents and legislators from the region, including Illinois and other states, to have more information, not only for us, but to see if it's something that.
I might just mention that, when we see this, looking direction, I'd like to see pros and cons.
Of course. And again, it was exciting. There were about 150 policymakers from across the nation at this event, including many of the older men and women of New York City. And it was really inspiring. So I say this as a positive for our village and for our state. The rest of you end up saying.
Is it sanctuary cities? Is that what it's called? The league just has something today in the emails, is that in there, they're not taking a formal position, but I saw something in there.
Right, and I can understand that as a league, that they might not want to, but as representatives of our community here in Shorewood, I have heard from many residents asking that we be a sanctuary city. So, and I will look into that too. But anyway, more to come.
Thank you.
It's actually 3 things. Quick update on the possible reinstatement of the Community Relations Council. JP&L, we discussed tonight that the process that we're looking at short term is working with staff to see the logistics of how this would actually work to add a new committee, staff-wise. Scheduling a stakeholder meeting where it would be looking at department heads, program heads, entity partners that might have overlapping interests or needs around community relations. Some talk of the scope, that it's really looking at this group could talk about accessibility, diversity, welcoming, and tolerance aspects of our community life together, and they could be collaborative in nature. And then scheduling a community input visioning session just to see what the needs and interests are in the community for something like this. So just to remind you, we have a Community Relations Council ordinance on the books. It has not been active for many years. And so this process is we're looking for some input and thought around whether this ordinance is actually reflective of what we want to implement now, reinstate now, or are we proposing any changes? And to do that, a little bit of that on the front end, and knowing that there would be more to follow. So time frame on that would probably be the next 4 to 6 weeks, kind of gathering all that and back to JP&L, and then maybe we'll have reports in the meantime, but also then something to consider.
Was there another name for that committee when we first started talking about it?
I think I might have misspoken and said Human Relations Council, but it's actually, the ordinance is written as Community Relations.
Okay.